Natalia's mom told her not to talk to strangers on the internet, but we're glad she didn't listen. We are the Certified Noonas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment. Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And I would
Natalia's a little rough today.
Yes, I just need to assure everyone listening, this is just a normal cold with some laryngitis. This is not anything pandemic related.
We're Canadians and it's cold season.
Yeah,
this is what we do up here. We get cold.
Yeah. And I have no immune system, so like I get colds like every other week.
You get extra colds.
Yeah, exactly. And it's sort of fun to have one in the middle of a pandemic because like basically if I did leave my house, I would basically be a social leper at this point. Like no one.
you like sniff and everybody like freaks out and runs away.
Yeah.
No, it's true. It's true.
You're at the grocery store and somebody coughs and everyone just stares at them and they're like, allergies! I swear to God, it's allergies.
No,
like,
I was on like the metro once and I had like a dry throat and I needed to cough so bad and I was just like, no.
Not here.
You dare. You stuff that cough back down into your lungs.
So we're gonna do Newsnas.
Yeah, we're gonna do a chill episode, especially because of Natalia's voice. We're gonna try not to like make her overuse it. We need her to do next episode too. We can't just use it all on this one.
Could this be the end of Natalia and the Newsnas?
Check out next week, part 2.
So, if you've been around for a while, you know what the Newsnas are. We talk about the current news going on in Asian entertainment that we found interesting, and that's it. That's And usually what happens is we'll record this, and then as soon as we finish recording it, we'll go onto Twitter, and something huge will have happened.
Yep.
So that's usually what does happen. I think my favorite one was when we finished recording and went onto Twitter, and it was like, Wano is coming back. Like, he's been cleared, he's coming back. And I think we actually went back on the call, and we're like, not today. We have to talk about it. To get us started off with some news.
I can.
for it.
So I'm going to actually tell some very, very short stories. So award shows happened of various sorts. Music award shows, variety show award shows, which those are usually called entertainment awards. And then also the drama awards happened. So I'm not going to sit here and list off everybody that won stuff because lots of people won things and it's happy. So you can go find that out.
Google.com for you.
Right. Between Twitter, Soupy, and Google, you're covered. Like, if you need to go see who won things. I'm going to talk about kind of the funny aspects of what they had to do in order to hold these things. I'm not going to make huge statements about should they have even had these events in the first place because they did it. Whatever. I'm just going to talk about what occurred. So for the SBS Entertainment Awards, which that was the variety show stuff, essentially, they had, and I won't be able to tell you the exact name of this, but they had a presentation arm, which was like a metal pole with a handle on it, and then it had a flat disc on the end that they would plunk the award on and then shove it towards the person that's getting the award. It happened the first time they were giving the awards during the show. So, and it was done by a comedian chick. So I really thought it was maybe her shtick, like this is a skit of sorts. Oh no, they did that for like most of the awards. And then all of a sudden they started using a podium. I don't know why the change, whatever. But the presentation arm, they made a huge deal about it, is why I'm mentioning it too. They did like a huge video segment and they talked about the craftsman, the metal craftsman that made this thing, and they had epic music and showed him hammering on it. And they named it something having to do with Kwang Soo. Like, I don't know why. They just put his name in the name of the presentation arm. It was really funny. And of course, there were helpers to put the award on the disc of the presentation. It was ridiculous. So if you want to go laugh at that, there are clips of that. Also at the exact same show, they did GIFs to all the people who were attending of face masks, which had screen printed pictures of the lower halves of their face.
Yes, I saw some of those.
I saw that, and it was too much.
Sometimes it was creepy. I will say that Heechul was like, his fit really well because it was a cute smile on his, and then the chef guy, the main chef, Baek Hyungwon or whatever his name is. Do you not know what I'm talking about? Anyway, he's on a ton of cooking shows. And he has really good smile crinkle eyes. So like with his mask and his smile, it fit him really well. It was really cute. And then they kept making jokes about their gifts. Do not throw them away while you're here because we'll be able to figure out who it was because your picture is on it. I was pretty irritated by all that. The second story that I want to share about that, though, is at Mama, the music award show. So, some people call this the highlighter chick just because the colors that she was wearing, some of them were neon inspired. Mama sometimes looks a little bit futuristic with their concepts.
Yeah, they're like
all their stages.
Spacey.
Yeah.
But like the stereotypical like foil spacey.
So there was a presentation helper person, not a presenter, because it was obviously wasn't a famous person of any sort. But her whole outfit was like a very tight fitting bodysuit thing with these crazy neon heels and whatever. And a mask, and she had, who knows what it really was. It looked like a fog machine where she would go do it around the microphones in between each presenter and people getting awards, because obviously it would disinfect something. Mm-hmm. But because she did it so much, and sometimes she would like lose out on the opportunity to do it because people would kind of go out of turn. So it's like this whole drama thing of watching people be awkward about like, should they step up to the microphone, should they not? But people ended up calling her the human sanitizer. Like, it was pretty entertaining. She was like everybody's hero because you could tell like she was really trying to be professional about her crazy job.
She stole the show, really. Like nobody was paying attention to anyone but her. They're like, oh, she's gonna come back. Let's go. Spray that down.
There was a couple years ago, I think at the Oscars or something, there was like the water girl, and she was like handing out like bottles of water, and just like she was the star of the behind the scenes that night, and like people were just like, who is she? She's pretty. Where is she? Like the whole like red carpet became about this girl who was handing out water to celebrities, and it was like, sometimes we just want to be the normal person or something.
That was pretty much Mama. Everyone was like, the human sanitizer, we want to know more about her because she did a really good job. Like, so those are my award show funnies. Like, they're pretty fun.
And there's so many awards and they hit all at once.
Yeah, especially this year when they kept on like delaying them and then rescheduling them. They kind of just really got all messed up and just pushed into one like clump.
It really felt like it was like all in 1 week. Bam. Everybody. All.
There were a couple that were like on the same night.
Yeah.
Because I remember like, I think it was like Cocoa was subbing both of them, but they could only live sub one. So they had to pick one over the other and have the delay of the other one.
I thought what was kind of funny was I think I watched, it's pretty obvious that like JYP and Sunmi, since they had a lot of stages on these various award shows, so like they'd go perform at this entertainment awards and then they'd go perform at that entertainment award, so like they were very busy. Anyone that was performing extra at the non-music award shows who were also performing at the music award shows, like in the middle of a pandemic, I'm like, everyone's being very busy and around a lot of people, but okay, it's all fine, I guess.
This spray girl is doing so much work and you all are ruining it.
Well, I even saw for one of the music award shows, I don't remember which one, of course, but it was all pre-recorded, essentially, or most of it was, to where all the performances were. They even showed all the spray disinfectant people that were in all the waiting rooms and stuff in between all of the pre-recordings and all that. Because I think that's what's interesting about at least what I've seen on all these Korean live shows or even variety shows. They make a point to talk about, we are following the rules. We're doing everything we can to be safe about doing this. Or when it was when the pandemic was a little bit better for them, they'd be like, this was before things got worse again. So we were following the rules then. Please don't get mad at us now that things are worse. I haven't watched any Western live shows, so I don't know if we do that or not. But.
The only like award show that I watched a bit of the Game Awards, because like I've been following a lot of game stuff, but like mostly because one of the girls I follow, she was up for one of the awards, and she was just streaming it on Twitch. So I was not Twitch, YouTube. So I was watching her kind of react to the awards, and they did it pretty cool because, for the most part, they only had the presenter and then everybody else like basically Zoomed called in. And she had pre-recorded an acceptance speech. So most people did, but there were sometimes they were live, and it's literally you just see like the people who are nominated in their living rooms and just like their like screens, and then they like would, you know, learn and they got the award, and it's just them in their living room accepting it. And it's kind of cool, especially because there are like a couple of people who were winning the stuff, and you could tell they were in their office, and you could like, it was like basically where they like had started the game too, you know. It was like where there was a lot of stuff, but that's the only one I've watched, so I don't know if like any of the other award shows did anything like that.
I guess harkening back to the Oscars, wasn't it? Where someone that was nominated for an Oscar revealed the video of how there was someone outside of their house in a hazmat suit. And so they were up for an award. They didn't end up getting it. So the person in the hazmat suit like waved and left.
I kind of wondered how they did that, because I'm like, because they would have, you know, give their acceptance speeches and they had the award there. And I'm like, okay, so how are you surprised if the award is here? But if that's what it was, they had somebody go to everybody's house and like pretend like, maybe I got it, maybe I don't. Here you go.
Well, yeah, the amount of awkwardness of all the people that were nominated and didn't get it, and the hazmat people just would peace out, like,
okay, bye.
Best wishes, bye.
I have seen it on a number of the Filipino dramas this past year, have had, like, one of them even had a character who was sort of a very side bit character, but they came on because a lot of times those shows that are on YouTube are divided into like multiple segments per episode. And so these were all divided into 2 episodes, and in between he would kind of come on and say, like, give a few little, like, I hope you're wearing your hand sanitizer, and, you know, that you're doing these things because we are while we're filming this. And then it would like go to the next segment or something. Like they kind of were trying to make sure you knew behind the scenes we're like following all the rules and we're being careful. And
I'm also seeing, even at the script readings for like upcoming Korean shows, it's not that they're just wearing their masks when they're like doing their script reading part. Even when they usually take a group little publicity photo with all the scripts, you know, in the past they wouldn't be wearing masks, at least for that. Well, now it's like, well, we're wearing our masks even for that. So you can't even quite, like, you can kind of tell who they are.
I'm going to take us over to Thailand for some Instagram-related news involving 2 actors who are appearing in a show that is supposed to start this month, even though we've been waiting for it for a year, and that would be Earth Mix from A Tale of a Thousand Stars. So this is a real roller coaster vibe, because things are really good for one and really bad for the other concerning their Instagram accounts. So Earth has hit 1 million followers on Instagram, which is, for a Thai BL actor, is actually pretty impressive, especially since he has really not been a lead in anything but one really bad show. So yeah, you gotta like give him some props. He's been hustling. And his acting partner in A Tale of a Thousand Stars, his nickname is Mix, had his Instagram hacked and stolen by the hacker, who then started messaging everyone and like threatening people and just being a general. They had to go to he refused to give it back, and they had to go to the cops, and the cops got involved, and it was all a big thing, which is really sad because this guy, this is Amanda, this is his first show, right?
I think so. I think it's his first show.
So he hasn't even debuted on his show yet, and he's already getting nonsense from the Instas.
And
but
Oak
anyway,
was so mad.
Yeah, everyone was pretty mad about it, but the police got involved and it's all been fixed. So that's, you know what, I'm actually really glad I'm not famous, because I couldn't handle this sort of nonsense in my life. I'd be like, why would you want to hack my Instagram? There's nothing on there interesting. Like, what, you want to post different dogs that aren't my dog to really throw people for a little?
No.
Also in Thailand, the actor Mew recently gave an interview where they were talking about like people making hate comments, and he was like, don't bother responding to hate comments, screenshot them and go to the police, and that's a nice way of getting some passive income. But you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Make that money. That's what I always think. It's like kind of funny when people are like so terrible on like surfaces like YouTube or something, where you're like, well, first I got your ad money for being here, even if it's like only like a penny, I still got a penny from you. And then second, I got one more view count on my YouTube, which then is great for my statistics because I'll get more money from ads and sponsors if my like statistics look good. And if you want to keep on making new accounts, it takes like 3 seconds to block someone and like a couple of minutes for you to do that stuff. And I'm still making more money from you. So why bother?
I just like never understand people who make like negative comments on stuff like you. It's like,
it's honestly, it's
like you had
mental health needs to be a bigger thing, because saying things like being like, oh, well, like it's part of the job. And it's like, if you say it's part of the job, then that you literally just told everybody to say, hey, I can do it. This person just said I could do it because it's part of their job. So there's nothing like, people like also just stop like doing the thing. Like if you would tell your 3-year-old that they can't do something, you still can tell like a 20-year-old that they can't do something. Like,
I think that's a big part of it. There's too many kids out there on the internet with too much internet access and not enough like parental
and then like
stopping.
Also, it just because you had good parents doesn't mean they had good parents, you know? And so just you gotta like make them, shame them into it. Like you have to like literally say no. Like you have to be like, this is not acceptable. You can't just be like, oh, it's part of the job. It's like that literally tells them that it's an okay thing. Like you're part of the problem at that point. Literally told thousands of people that's okay. So it's never gonna like be fixed if you keep on just like saying it's okay. Another gripe for another time.
It's Jesse's turn.
It is my turn. I wanted to talk about some exciting news happening in Netflix land because that affects us. And considering I look at the stats a lot for these podcast episodes, I know it affects you because everybody really loves our episodes when we talk about dramas that are on Netflix. So Netflix is expanding their Korean sound stages, and they're just like their whole basically Korean unit. And they are expanding like multiple sound stages and multiple buildings for more Korean content that is original to Netflix and being produced out of Korea as well. So there will be in the very like soon future more options. Now it's really great for like us because that means we get subs quickly and you know shows being produced a little bit more with a little bit more budget, because Netflix money is really great money, especially now that it's booming too. Like Korean dramas have been exploding, especially on Netflix. And the accessibility, I think, is really good because I feel like a lot of people who wouldn't be watching Korean dramas if they had to go to a site like Viki are watching them because they're on Netflix. And I mean, a great majority of people already have Netflix, and if it's there and it's suggested, they'll kind of stumble upon it. But if they're not like super big into Korean dramas, it's nice that they don't always, their whole entire catalog, like a Viki catalog, is not going to be Asian dramas. However, that does beg the question if Netflix is going to try to bait us with their multiple season format. Which
I wish everyone could have seen everyone's reaction to that. There was a lot of eye rolling and sighing going on.
It's very, very possible because we've already seen from multiple times. It's a little hard because I think the multiple season thing is also just infiltrating like Korean entertainment in general. If you look at something like Uncanny Counter, they're already talking about doing a second season, and Netflix, the only part it has in Uncanny Counter is that it is the person to be distributing it internationally. It's an OCN drama. So like if there's a second season, it's an OCN person saying to do a second season, not a Netflix person. So I think we're already seeing that, like, especially with like dramas that wouldn't normally have, like, there are dramas that have always been multiple seasons. And I think there is a type of drama, like Korean drama, that's okay to have multiple seasons, like doctor shows and that sort of thing. Kind of is good when you have like a huge cast. I think like multiple seasons work really well. But like the problem is Netflix really hasn't grasped the like sole reason why people really love like not multiple seasons. So they do things that are a little weird. So I'm hoping that maybe they're like, especially like expanding their Korean area, that means they'll have more people, and there's like kind of more of a pool of like whoever the people are that like do the pitch meetings for like this. They'll have more of a greater understanding of like the entertainment and realize that like not everything needs to have a multiple season. So it will kind of like pull away from that, because I do feel that Netflix already saw that like that they still had great success with not having shows put all at once, because they do a lot of the airing shows for dramas, and I think they've already like there's already data there to show that that's like, so you'll still get people. So like, and that's not a Netflix norm. Netflix really likes to put everything out all at once. And so I'm just like kind of hoping that will stop, and so we can stop having multiple seasons, because Netflix likes to not pick up seasons weirdly, and then it just like, you have cliffhangers that weren't actually supposed to be a cliffhanger. Like, I'm fine with cliffhangers, but there are times when that like intentionally the writer has decided that no, this was supposed to only be this part of the story, and it's a cliffhanger, but that's because the intention was only this part of the story.
Right.
And that's different than like Netflix like doing a My First Love kind of hack, where it was like, you're like, no, this is just supposed to be like a week goes by and then we come back to it. Weird transition.
Or like, I didn't watch Love Alarm, but Love Alarm is not a drama that needed to do that.
Yeah, if there's no guarantee.
When I heard that that's what they did with Love Alarm, I was like, well, I'm just gonna wait till the second season comes out. I'm not even gonna watch this one, because like I don't need that negativity in my life,
Yeah, I think it's like also because with us, we know how Netflix is, but also we are like, Korean dramas are gaining a popularity in Asian content in general on Netflix, but it's still not the most popular thing on Netflix. So it's like in that weird position where you're like, okay, we would be the ones to be dropped first. Right. Over other things, like if
they don't see the big numbers, if it like stalls out at some point, what's gonna happen, right?
Yeah, there's like good parts to this too, like the things that I mentioned, but also there's gonna be like more money in the entertainment world in Korea, and I think that will lead to a little bit like better productions, maybe even more diversity and like your writing and casting. I know you can't. There is a cap because, South Korea is only like a certain size. Like, your pool is greatly different and smaller than anything else. But I think it will just give a little bit more of a difference. And then also like really honestly, at the end of the day, it being on Netflix that's accessible and it's guaranteeing subs, honestly, I'll probably suffer through multiple seasons with those two like things.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
Super fast subs too, man.
It's
So
especially
fast.
now with Vicky really straining. I mean, like Cocoa's doing a good job, but Cocoa's different because you really have to be loving Korean dramas to be watching that. That's like a niche thing. It's Vicky is just harder and harder in it, and they don't seem to want to change it, which is very weird because I think someone needs to tell them that they need to start looking at that before they crash and burn like Drama Fever.
I know I saw somebody today or yesterday on Twitter who was saying that they got into Korean dramas through Netflix just since pandemic started. So just in the last year, they've started watching Korean dramas, and they were like, to the point, like, I even got a Viki membership. And I was like, have you exhausted everything at Netflix yet? Because like, if you're still new, that might not be where you want to be right now, because it's so frustrating that like
yeah.
I hate for you to be scared off by the frustration, you know?
Yeah, at this point, I would recommend Cocoa over Viki for anyone looking.
I would too. Honestly, if you have Netflix and Cocoa, I think you're completely set, because you can also find stuff on YouTube as well. Like, so I think you'll have a great mix. And also, Netflix is picking up and releasing old shows too. Like shows like The Guest came on, and that was like after a couple of seasons,
And I've noticed shows that were like airing on Drama Fever when it went down have now started to appear on Netflix. So I feel like maybe the distribution rights like lapsed over for Time Warner, who owned them until now. So now other companies are snapping them up.
And there is still free stuff on Viki. Like there's some stuff that you can watch without a paid membership. So I mean, you can still go check it out, and it's nice for getting to see some J-dramas and Chinese dramas and stuff too. But I will say Netflix is also being really great at that too. They're picking up I mean, Thai dramas, Taiwanese dramas, Chinese dramas, Indian dramas. I saw an article I don't know, it was a couple months ago that said that India was the consumer of most of the movies in Netflix. Like their percentage is like they consume the most percentage of movies across all the areas that Netflix has, and I have seen an increase in Indian content too. It's definitely great. Netflix does have a good amount of stuff. I really feel Netflix is the best place for someone who's even maybe semi new into it. I really feel like you can find what you want. And of course, us who are pretty constant with the dramas and we know what's going on and stuff. And so it can be frustrating if you can't access some of the things that you know about. But honestly, Netflix is doing really well. Despite those multiple seasons, they're doing really well. And I am actually really excited for the expansion, because they're doing really well, and they're also producing stuff that was really great and really fun for me to watch. Sweet Home was fantastic for me to watch.
It was so good.
As a person who loves horror and also a person who is into props and special effects, the amount of time they put into the resources of doing practical as opposed to CGI stuff, and that craft, and just it's nice to see, and you can only really do that if you have the time and budget, and I think Netflix is providing that. Kingdom too, that would have been produced probably with most of the networks, which means maybe we'll talk about more Netflix drama soon.
Know who else is going to be good for? All of the people in the West who have never had exposure to all of these wonderful things that they don't even know they've been missing.
Yeah.
Now's the time.
I used to see all the time people would constantly complain about Netflix not having enough variety and not having enough, they've only got old movies, or they don't have enough old movies, or, it was always I've seen everything. And my husband and I were always what? These people must watch 24/7, because I have not reached the end of Netflix yet. And I have to believe that most of those people who complain that way are really stuck on Western media. Like that's
Mhm.
all they're watching, because like I haven't even watched all the K-dramas on Netflix. So like there's no way you've watched everything
Yeah,
on Netflix.
you could be like
people.
watching really great Norwegian shows and like
Turkish
Turkish,
stuff.
yeah. There is just so much, like, even
There's-
expanding upon like outside of our niche genre of Asian entertainment. There's just so much to consume,
There's
and so
so
like
much.
Yep.
there and in different formats. It's like movies and short series and longer series and multi-series stuff. So there's definitely, it's there. You just aren't looking hard enough or accepting
And
to
to be
subtitle
honest,
world.
like if they're saying that there's nothing to watch on Netflix, like they're ignorant of they're choosing not to find something to watch on Netflix.
Although it was funny at the end of the year, Netflix had that like they released a song and dance number with this guy who like reached the end of Netflix because of pandemic times. I've watched it all. And that was a pretty little song. It was like, would you like to skip to 2021? And he was like, yes, please. And I was like, that didn't age very well, but okay.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
To be clear, we're not sponsored by Netflix, though we would like to be.
Yeah.
Hey, Netflix, give us some
Hey,
Netflix money.
what's up?
We're here,
And-
Netflix.
certifiednoonas@gmail.com.
And I want to give Vicky a single prop.
One.
Yeah. The thing about Vicky and me is that Vicky always has at least one of the main shows that I am watching. So currently they have True Beauty, and they get that sucker subbed less than 24 hours for some reason.
Because
I have to say it occurs. It does not ever occur for anything else, but
yeah, it's a
that is actually the singular prop goes to the people that are subbing that show. That is what I mean. To the volunteer subbers that should not be volunteer, that the single prop goes to them. That's why I got a Viki membership in the first place. Those few times when it's a show that I can't find anywhere else.
Yeah, and yeah, it's hard for us. Like, it's understandable. We consume so much Asian entertainment. We're like not the norm,
Right?
So that it does become a harder thing. But like, yeah, I think even if you're just like kind of casually watching Asian dramas,
Stay over on Netflix.
Stay over on Netflix.
And YouTube have probably got you covered.
Yeah,
like, there's so much on YouTube too.
Yeah, honestly,
you're
like.
good.
We talked about this in the drama specials thing. The KBS and SBS also have some of their older dramas subbed on YouTube too. So if you're into like the family dramas or the daily dramas, you can find a lot of like the older ones on there too. So yeah, they're there.
And then there's all the Thai channels on YouTube.
All the Thai
and then there's
channels.
all the Chinese channels on YouTube. So
and most of the there's a lot of the Filipino stuff is there. We're starting to see Vietnamese stuff. Like a lot of Asian countries have realized that YouTube is there and it's free. So I should maybe use that instead of creating my own.
And then there's all the Japanese. Oh wait. None of the
Yeah,
you found that salt and rubbed it in that wound, didn't you?
Yeah.
that was really it hurt itself in its own confusion move right there for me.
Okay, one day I still have a glimmer of hope. One day.
I'm working my way through like all the Japanese dramas on Viki. Like last year, I think I watched like 50 dramas total. I think I'm up to like 10 completed dramas this year already because I'm just like banging out these Japanese dramas.
No.
Like,
and Netflix has some stuff. Yeah.
The Japanese genres that Vicky picks are not that varied.
But they're the ones that work for me, so I'm
okay
happy
for you, but I'm still sad for me.
I know.
I read recently that Netflix is getting just a little bit more Japanese stuff, it looks like. So maybe they'll get more. Let's pretend like they're going to get more.
Yeah, I think they are, because they're also getting second seasons of some stuff too. I know the Naked Director is having a second season this year, which I think if you see that there's a second season, then there's like an uptick on Japanese drama watchers. So maybe, hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, Alice in Borderland went there, so.
Yeah.
Please,
Mhm.
please, please,
Wild
please,
show.
please.
New year, new season. We didn't get a whole lot of like dispatch excitement for New Year's this year. Sadly,
They were in a funk like us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess when the whole year had people wearing masks and staying home, there's not a lot for your paparazzi to do.
They're like, but
right?
they're just staying in their house because they have to social distance, so they can't leave.
But we did get one great news, especially for drama fans, people who are big fans of. Oh my goodness, the drama name just dropped
Crash
right
landing
out of
on
my head.
you.
Crash landing on
Crash
you.
landing on you. I'm like, Chloe, I don't know what
It
that
dropped.
is anymore.
It crashed out of your
It
mind.
crashed right out of my brain. But the stars of that, Hyunbin and Song Ye-jin, admitted they were dating. They've been dating like basically almost for a year now, and they're house hunting and they're planning to get married maybe in 2022 is the story that's out there, because they're both too busy this year, but maybe next year. And like, that's just lovely. They all the little bits when the show was out and they were promoting, everyone was like, okay, that can't be fake. Like, they just are way too into each other for this to be fake. And you were correct. It was not fake. They are in love.
For the first time ever, the Delulus were correct. The Delulus won on one day.
Won.
You got the one win. You
keep that close to your heart, Delulus. It's
Don't let it get to your head, because you only got this one.
I mean,
Nothing in this life is guaranteed.
It's not the first time ever, but you know, hopefully, fingers crossed, this goes better than some of the previous ones, which have all ended. So,
but at least it's
good
real.
luck.
Yeah, we don't need to put this energy into
Compared to every Park Min Young rumor that is not a real thing.
She's like, Jesus Christ, just let me be friends with people. I'm an outgoing girl. I have a good personality. People just generally like to be around me. Get away.
I just
They're
always
wearing
think
the
of
same
that, like,
hat and they both have poofy white dogs. They must be dating. No, these are just
always-
our dogs.
It's always that
Just
that
friends
Patrick Stewart gif, you know, where he's like acting, and you're like, yeah, acting. People, they're acting. That's their job.
Boys and girls can be friends. They don't always have to be
What?
with each other.
I don't know. That sounds fake.
that sounds pretty sus to me, Jesse. That sounds pretty sus.
I
know
I'm
that
leaving.
I have never had a male friend that I didn't
Not
have.
once in my life.
Not once.
It reminds me of someone had shared a clip on Twitter of, I think it was an iCarly episode. And so I guess
Yes.
the main characters of iCarly were like at a press conference or a fan meeting or something, and someone in the audience is like, you two are dating, and they're like, no, we're not in a relationship. No, I disagree. Here is my chart. You guys are dating.
Here is all of my proof.
I know more than you, the person who's in this relationship. But I'm happy for them. I hope that like the push to reveal it because of Dispatch wasn't a bad thing. I hope that they kind of, it was just a kind of one of those things that we're like, well, we're gonna do it anyway, so like might as well do it now. I hope it.
Yeah.
That's my only concern
I
about the
think
whole thing.
the
is
fact
That was my
they're
initial
older,
concern the entire time.
Like, makes me think that maybe they're just a little bit more like, you know what, whatever. He's like, I'm Hyunbin. Like, you're all still gonna watch my shows, and like,
Yeah.
screw
You guys want to stop watching me? Good luck. Like,
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I could just sit at my home and still have millions of dollars every year, so we're good. We're good.
Fine.
I'm gonna switch to some music news, K-pop music news. Back when the Mama Award show was happening and there were all these performances, there was a joint performance between the boys, Stray Kids, and ATEEZ. It's a really cool performance. You should go check it out if you haven't yet, or if you have, go rewatch it because it's cool. But it ended with 3 representatives, like one each from each group, fighting over a crown. And then it was revealed that all 3 groups are going to participate in the Kingdom competition show that will be put on by Mnet sometime this year. Everyone already knew the boys were going to be a part of it because they won the Road to Kingdom show. That's the way that works. And everyone kind of assumed that Stray Kids was going to for some reason. ATEEZ was kind of new news for everybody. So that was a big deal. Yeah, I just really enjoyed the performances. Of course, some people get all worried about fan wars with this type of thing. Whatever. Just don't follow people that do fan wars. Like,
yeah, block. Block. Oh my god, block is great. I wish, side note, I really wish there was a button where you could just block everyone that's liked a post. I think that would be the single best thing
just
for Twitter
to
do.
Easy group block.
Yeah,
Bam.
because like if someone's liked it, then you can guarantee every person that's liked it you don't want if it's a bad tweet. But like you can't guarantee that with the comment section because some people are like defending. But a like,
or even the quote the quote retweet thing too, because it could be someone dunking on it. Of course,
like just one click, block everyone that's liked it. Yes. Oh my god, that would be the best thing. But yeah, side note. We were talking about Twitter.
Continuing on ATEEZ, we got 2 ATEEZ related situations that went down recently. One, Hongjoon did a tight cover of Linkin Park's Numb that he added like a whole rap thing to,
and this is Jesse
literally incredible. It was
manifesting
literally incredible
into the world an ATEEZ Dreamcatcher collab with Evanescence.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
Love of everything. Please give me this. Like, I don't know why ATEEZ and Dreamcatcher haven't already collabed because they share the same, like, producers. Their songs are made by the same people.
Maybe it will happen because the producers say that there's like this long roadmap to ATEEZ's like story and stuff. So like maybe it just converges at some point.
So hoping. Like I don't know KQ enough to like know what they're with it, but like Dreamcatcher's company is pretty lax. They're like pretty chill, like with them like doing stuff with anyone. Like they get grouped up with like everybody like all the time. So like I feel like it just would work. Please.
ATEEZ was not done killing it because
sorry.
Also, no, it's okay. So there's this little group, this little duo called the Universe Hipsters. Just 2 little unknown guys known as Heechul and Min Kyung-hoon, who are both on Knowing Brothers, and every year put out a ridiculous song together,
and it's great.
And
it's so good,
and it's always good. And this year was no exception. They put out a hip-hop fusion track called Hanryang, which is great because neither of them are rappers, but it still was incredible. It was produced by Din Din and featured BB. It was unreal, and I watched they had like a whole on YouTube you can watch, it's all subbed, like a little making of series of little featurettes. And so it goes through the whole like process of making this song. And ATEEZ showed up for the music video to do a dance collab. So they don't sing in it, but they do a sick little dance in the music video, which was designed, recorded, and edited by Shindong. And it's really good. Like if you haven't checked it out yet, you should really go check it out. Like,
related to all of that, as of yesterday of this recording, they had a fan meeting about that song and all that, and they were all there. So like ATEEZ was there, and they did some stuff, and BB and all them. So I thought that was really cool too.
It's really cool.
It was funny because in the featurette they promised that if they got like a certain number of views, they would have a live concert, thinking they would never get that many views because they only have like 3 songs. So they were like, okay, we've made a mistake.
They're like one of the top variety shows too.
I know.
It's like
I know. They're like,
Come
we
on.
can't do a concert.
And we're
but we
also
will.
all here watching. Like there are more people watching because they're like, I would
Yeah.
normally be out right now, but I guess I'm gonna watch this.
But it was like, so like they had to get up there and be like, hello friends, it is us. Hello, we can't have a concert, we only have 3 songs, but we can do a fan meet. So
good.
One little moment of the fan meet that I saw a clip of that was really funny was ATEEZ was introducing themselves individually, and Heechul was being like the MC, of course, and they get to Yuno, and Yuno's name is exactly the same as TVXQ's Yuno name. And so Heechul just thought that was like blowing Heechul's mind. He thought that was so funny. He's like, oh my gosh, it's the same name. When they were doing TVXQ moves, it was just really funny.
Heechul's so funny.
I know, he's so great. And it's like so easy to stan Heechul because you have all the women in K-pop who are like, oh, if you're gonna trust one man, trust Heechul. He's the only man we trust. We call him the human condom because he keeps all the gross men away from us. You're like,
thanks, guy.
We love you.
Doing your part. We'll keep it in K-pop news because I don't know if you know this, guys, but Chansung is back.
What?
Jesse's World is like almost perfect again. We're wait until March when Junho's back, and then it will be like perfectly perfect. But like I have got my bias back. My alt male bias is back, and I'm very excited about that. And they're going to be doing stuff soon, which is not a surprise to anyone because they keep on saying, like, they're like, hey, every single time they're together, like, oh, we'll be back when Junho comes back out of the military. And it's like just been a known thing. And then like yesterday, there were all those like news reports. And I'm like, but they said like literally when the first member went into military, they said that, okay, whatever. They're going to be back this year, and I'm very excited. I know they've already been working on the music. We'll get comebacks from them, and probably like acting Chansung. And I'm very just a happy hottest, you know.
So if you follow at Wine and a K Drama on Twitter,
beware.
Soon, prepare, gird your loins.
You should follow.
You should.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because I've never like that account when I made it 2 p.m. was not like they weren't a full group that was like out of military. There was always like one person out of the military when I started, but also like I was always just like living in YouTube land, so I've never been a Twitter hottest. I don't know what that really entails for comebacks. I have friends that can talk to me about 2 p.m. now, and that's exciting to me. I'm like, this is like a whole new comeback for me, and it'll be exciting, and I just love them so much.
And she won't sleep at all is what
I will not sleep because I'll probably still won't have a job anyway. So if you want me to do like reporting on like what 2 p.m. is going and like pay me, I'll do that. I'll be awake, please.
Jessie is seeking sponsorships for her hottest endeavors.
Yeah, and Dreamcatcher.
Yeah, and her insomnia endeavors too.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, One in a K Drama. Send all inquiries there.
I guess while we're talking about enlistments and people coming back, we'll just bang out the rest of them and get them done. Dio, EXO is officially back by the end of the month, but he's on his last leave before he's done.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exciting. I love that because it's like everybody's excited. Like K-pop Twitter is excited, K-drama Twitter is excited. Like everybody's like, oh, he'll be doing singing. Oh, he'll be doing acting. Like everybody's happy. It's just everybody's happy he's back. So, and Yukis's Dongho, his enlistment ends at the end of the month. We've also got Park Hyun-sik and Lee Jong-suk, actors. Also,
I could have sworn, I know that this last year has had just like meaningless time, but I could have sworn it was just like a couple months ago.
It seems like that. It really, like, I was like,
does.
they're already out. Wait, what? This is weird.
I mean, I think some people who are listening right now who are like super huge fans of them might differ. You know what I mean? They might be like, it's been 84 years. What are you talking about? But like, yeah, it feels like, I mean, I feel like we just watched Romance
but
as
it
a bonus
literally
book,
does
you know,
not
like,
feel like it's been enough time in a military stance. Like, it just does not feel like 2 years.
It
or
really
whatever.
feels like a Wrinkle in Time type thing, like
yeah,
like all compressed somehow.
yeah, exactly.
But like Chansung felt like forever too, but like not really. Like, yeah, it's just very weird.
It's yeah. Time has been a strange thing over the last year, so
I will say, enlistment wise, you know, though it's dangerous for them being around a lot of people because of the pandemic, flip side is not a lot goes on during the pandemic anyway, so getting it done
is really
while the pandemic's
the
on.
greatest time to do it. Just like, you're like, not a lot we can do.
It's not like you're missing concerts or yep. No, it's
because even online concerts keep on getting canceled, so like you're not even guaranteed that.
no.
I will say, every once in a while they announce like an in-person concert, and I'm like, maybe you should just hold off on that announcement.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I guarantee you had to put money
Every
on
time-
that venue. So
Every time they
just put
do,
it on.
I always go like, "Are you sure?" Like the John Cena, like, "Are you sure about that?"
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure there was supposed to be like a Monsta X concert in December in Toronto, and I was
there
like,
was supposed to be an EXID concert and a Soulja concert, and then they both got canceled. And even like Day 6 is doing like the Even of Days doing like a little online concert. It was supposed to be in December. It was canceled and pushed back until this month, and that's an online concert with 3 members. Like, so already just like 3 members and that amount of put it at like a not safe number, and then they couldn't do it. I'm like, just
stop.
Maybe
I feel like
lives.
it's also the baby groups, like these boy groups that are the really popular ones, like it's whatever, but they keep on trying to have in-person concerts, and it's like, honey, it's gonna get canceled. Like, we can tell you that right now. Just don't. Just not.
Just stop.
Yeah. I think like doing like the special things are a little bit like better, like doing special music videos or just doing covers is kind of your best route, or like just like V lives and stuff that are really chill. Like, people are into that. They're into you just talking about like life, so you can do that and you won't be canceled.
Right.
Yep. And you won't be putting people at risk. And you won't be putting yourselves at risk.
Money,
and it just
lost.
Just accept it. Like, I think that's the thing. Like, my husband's on a couple of committees, and they're all meeting over Zoom chats lately, and they keep trying to like schedule things. Okay, so like, when's our back to date? And he's like, can we just stop it? Because you guys keep making a new back to date, and then we have to keep canceling it. Or we go back for like a week, and then the province changes the rules.
Yeah.
Like, let's just guess that minimum it's the next 6 months. And let's say this is how this is. So this is what it is. And in 6 months we'll revisit and see where we are. But like, let's just accept it. Let's just say this is the new normal for this year. And this is what we're doing.
More enlistments.
Yeah, we've got Jae Hyung from The Rose and Sung Hyun from Noir. My tongue is not saying it today. Are both enlisted in November, so I'm not sure if there's been some more enlistments since then.
I will say,
Probably,
Pentagon's Hui, it like his got pushed back a little bit. So I think he's in now. If not, he's darn close to leaving. I don't remember what exact date his was now.
That's the other thing about this, is that you kind of don't notice when they're gone. You don't get those like those pictures of like the big send-off parties that we used to always get. So
or the comeback parties either.
yeah.
But side note, Super 5 got to do a little stage before he left or is leaving really soon.
Aw. Yeah, we definitely missed, but like we're kind of being a little lazy about keeping up with it. And once I see it for one day, I'll never remember. Then it's like gone.
If we missed your favorite and they've enlisted or come back from enlistment, we're sorry.
Yeah. Or congratulations.
Not that we don't love them. Yeah. Too long didn't read. I'm not.
It's not that we don't.
Happy for you.
It's not that we don't care. It's just there's so much going on that sometimes things just we're only 4 people. We don't have some knowledge of everything.
And like also honestly, I forget about like my absolute favorites. I forget about the people on this podcast. I forget about my like real life people. We're old and our brains are foggy, and this is what you have to deal with when you get older kids.
My mom texted me on the weekend on Sunday. Sunday was the 10th, right? And she goes, "Don't forget, it's your sister's birthday today. Don't forget to wish her happy birthday." And I was like, "Isn't Julian's birthday on the 11th?" And Mom was like, "Well, I sure hope not, because I just brought her breakfast in bed." And she said, "Thank you for the birthday breakfast in bed." And I was like, "Oh shit." And so we had like a severe moment of like panic, but it turns out Mom was right. It was the 10th.
Well, I'm happy for your mom, because I think as far as who should be wrong in that situation, I'm glad it wasn't her, because that would have been really awkward.
Okay, like to cut my mom some slack, there are 11 of us, plus a billion grandkids, plus a billion cousins. And I don't think she's remembered my birthday once in the last 20 years.
Listen, I was there for all 3 of my kids' births, and I still sometimes am like, is it the 7th or the 8th? It's the 8th, because Mom's birthday was on the 7th. Right. Yeah.
I literally yesterday was like shocked that it was actually Wednesday. I was like, no, it's not. It's not Wednesday.
No,
This guy
like every day,
and I was like, it's Wednesday? What?
Like every day I leave my bedroom, because Matthew works in he works in the living room, and then I have an office. So like we work at opposite ends of the house, and I'll leave my bedroom and like walk down to the living room and be like, "Hey, what day is it?" I don't know.
Thank goodness for that. There's this Twitter that's called Thursday What a Concept, and that's all they do is every Thursday they tweet that picture of Natasha Lyonne going, "Thursday What a Concept," and I'm like, hey, it's Thursday, thanks for that.
So funny.
So I'm gonna do a couple of random K-pop things that at least are important to me.
Do it up.
So ACE, they released 2 collab remixes. I mean, I'll explain here in a second what that means. But the main one it's called Fave Boys, and then Steve Aoki's Gold Star remix, part of that. One version features, and I don't know how to say his name, I apologize, and it's a Western name, so proving that I just suck at name pronunciation. Thutmose is what I'm going to call him. But I'm going to give a little bit of backstory first. Once upon a time, ACE did an online like hashtag Q&A thing, and one of the questions was asked like, who would you guys want to collaborate with? And BK said Steve Aoki, Thutmose, and Daddy Yankee. Like that was his thing. And that tweet is what made Steve Aoki take notice, and it's how the collab happened, essentially.
Aww.
And then that's how they made sure to involve Thutmose and all this stuff. So like they had a wish and it came to fruition type
really
thing,
sweet.
which is just a really neat
Awesome
thing. So to explain the 2-track thing, there's one track that Thutmose is on, and then the other one he's not. And as far as the spaces in the song are filled in by ACE doing a rap part to that. The Thutmose version has been rejected by Korean broadcasting because it mentions a brand too much or something. Okay. I still am trying to place where he says the brand. I cannot find it, but maybe that just proves I'm slow to listen. So only the version with him not in it was approved to be broadcast. Because they're
such weird rules.
Yeah, so it's not because it was explicit or anything. It's because he mentions a brand.
No, it's like so dumb. It's like if you say Gucci, even though like Gucci is a thing people say, you know, like it's Gucci. But you said Gucci, so now the song can't be broadcast because
and also
a brand, and you're like, oh.
I've watched enough K-pop stuff on broadcasting things. They wear like branded pins and outfits. Like you can tell all the time these brands, which was kind of funny. So that was just a really big deal. I thought it was really neat that they. Oh, and they got a music video too. I wanted to mention that. It's not that the song just dropped. They also got a music video, and it's really cool. And they did a really good job involving people that are obviously on different continents right now. Like the way they integrated that was really good. Also, so K-Tiger Zero, I love them to pieces. I think he was the eldest member, if I want to guess right. Lee Gangmin, he left the group. Nothing bad as far as I can tell. He was just needing to move on and do other things, and he was tired. He is pretty much older. I wanted to say he's around Super Junior age. And a lot of the K-Tiger Zero kids are much younger. And especially with their Taekwondo stuff, like, so he's been in very physical stuff for a very long time. So he said he needed to rest a little bit more. So
that's fair. Fair and understandable.
When you get old, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Especially
when you've been doing it all your life.
Catches
up to you.
I mean, he was in the latest music video and everything too. So I mean, it's really good that he was able to do that. It was interesting that he released that news himself. The company didn't. Kind of different. And I had a moment of, where am I going to find a translation for this? I was even asking a friend. I was like, can you help me figure out what's going on? But then I found a translation and I was like, okay, everything's fine. Just someone moving on. That's cool. So those are my two little people. But the ACE thing is actually a really big deal. And I wanted to mention also, they trended worldwide on Twitter during that moment. And not just the whole, like, you know, in a fandom, they'll be like, oh, we're trending. And they're trending within their, like, targeted hashtags. No, like, they really did trend worldwide. Because Steve Aoki, you know, he's a big name.
And he's really good at promoting other people.
Yeah, he really is.
You gotta really respect that.
He seems like a really sweet guy.
Yeah. He seems like a decent dude. Going back to Dispatch and the fun of memes, there was one other Dispatch thing that happened this year that we all got a good little meme-related chuckle out of. And that was a dating rumor between Girls' Generation Taeyeon and VIX's Ravi. Now, normally this wouldn't be that funny, except that Ravi's company put out a statement saying they would have to check to see if it was true. However, Ravi's the CEO of his own company. So all of the memes were a chef's kiss. I think my favorite was, it was like, the CEO checking with Ravi, and if the dating rumors are true, and it was just the same picture of Ravi, but like one was turned so they were facing each other. Anyway, he says no. So apparently he checked with himself, and they're just bros. That's cool, man.
He's cool. Like, I have to go be introspective for a moment and figure out where a relationship is.
Am I? Should I be?
Wait a minute, are we? Did I like miss that? Like, and then he's like hyperventilating. He's like, were we in a relationship? Holy shit.
Wait, have I been in a relationship this entire time?
That'd be such a dude thing to do, though. Like, it really would be.
He got incepted into a relationship.
Oh, did I do something I was unaware of? Maybe. Maybe I need to go call her now.
Probably. And then he saw that like her company denied it, and he was like, "Oh, okay, good. I didn't
Oh,
forget
God.
anything. No,
Didn't lead someone on.
Yeah.
In not really news, but something just to keep fresh in your minds. I like got really like obsessed with figuring out what was going to be 2021 dramas this year, and so like I've been like very aware of what dramas had been like scheduled or rumored to be coming out. And a lot of them are really coming out because I've seen most of them have trailers and pictures and stuff. So in the next couple of months, you're going to see a very, very uptick on K-dramas. Like there's a lot coming in your future, and most of them look like they're going to actually like come to be, and some major ones are going to be happening. But like, you know, like things like Sisyphus the Myth will be coming out soon, which I know a lot of people are like super into. I was like shocked because I had like figured out a lot of 2021 dramas, and then I like figured out which ones I would be interested in. And then I just was so surprised when they all started actually giving out promo videos and pictures. And I was like, oh, they actually might not be pushed back. Like really, I think like next month we have like something like 15 dramas happening, and it just keeps on increasing. It's a lot, so be on the lookout. There's a lot of dramas out there. You can find more information about them all the time, but like I mean, Times has been putting out teaser things. Luca the Beginning has been putting out teaser things. There's a good amount of dramas happening, and I'm very excited because there's a lot of dramas that I'm like super interested in, and I haven't had that in a really long time.
WineandAKdrama.com has really good lists all the time too.
Yeah, incredible.
I try. Obviously, like my tastes are not like what other people are going to be looking for, so there's going to be a lot more rom-coms happening that I'm not aware of. But like I think if you are into K-dramas and have been kind of feeling the like, you know, lack
delays
of,
and cancellations.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that had been pushed from last year is going to show up, and it looks to be like they're actually showing up and not just kind of like still in the air and still updated. And I think there's a lot of lists that came out that had all the projected dates for things. Those obviously can change, especially for the projected dates of like something that's in May, because it always happens, because everybody always forgets a sports event or like some major holiday is a thing, and then they're like, oh yeah, we have to cancel this week. You know, and then also like pandemic things. Our dry spell, I think it's kind of lifting up, and we're gonna get a lot of the content very soon. I like watching dramas and having like a variety of dramas to watch.
Well, and every year there's a few dramas that like you hear the rumors, you see the poster, and then they just never happen. They go on a shelf to die, and it's nice when you find out they're not dying on a shelf somewhere. They're actually coming out.
Like, and I was like shocked because there was this is also like a news. So Chansung was in a version of I Married an Anti-Fan. It like wrapped up filming 2017, I think 2018, 2017.
Oh, he's back from the military now, so
he was before the military thing happened for him, and it was just like kind of announced. It was a little bit unofficial, but I think it's going to show up eventually, that Netflix picked it up. So they're like, I'm seeing also those type of things where it's just like kind of picking up. But they did that with My Hollow Love. My Hollow Love, everyone knew it was like done and completed, and it was just like kind of sitting there, and we're like, but is anybody going to take that? And then all of a sudden Netflix was like, hi. So I'm like, Netflix taking another Chansung drama. Interesting. But like Netflix does have a couple of dramas scheduled for this year. Some of them are pretty fun. There's a lot of zombie dramas happening this season, or at least this half of the year. So there's going to be some epic stuff. I think a lot of historicals are also happening as well. There's a Jisoo one that's coming out soon.
Oh yeah,
our sweet baby Jisoo.
It got mentioned in one of my group chats, because apparently, now I don't have confirmation for this, but I got a good laugh out of it. It also has Kang Ha-nol in it. but apparently he's playing Jisoo's dad. But aren't they only like 5 years apart in age?
Be like a time jump thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there
like,
must be a time
he's playing
jump.
his dad in the past or something. Cause come on,
That's what I'm hoping. Because otherwise, I'd be like,
they were brothers last time.
But you can see. Well. You can imagine if there's a flashback and it was infant Jisoo with, you know, that character, and then you don't see him ever again. Right.
Otherwise, it's gonna be hilarious.
But here's the thing about Jisoo being in the historical.
Uh-oh.
Shall we start the bets on if he survives to the end?
I saw like a clip and I retweeted it and I was like, oh, he is gonna get the girl this time before he dies tragically. And people were like, stop it. And I was like, listen.
I call it like I see it.
Historical plus Jisoo equals this is not going to go well. Okay? I'm sorry.
Just for like anybody that's wanting to know, it's called River Where the Moon Rises. It's scheduled to start airing February 15th, and it is a 20-episode drama as well. So it's a
and it looks like a historical, not like a funny,
not a light one.
No, it's historical, romance, drama, political, and it's like female assassin is one of the.
Yeah.
Oh,
that sounds fun though, man.
Other big names are like Kim So-hyun is the main female lead. I know everybody really likes her too, so that's probably gonna push it. Lee Ji-hoon is in it. It's got a pretty strong cast behind it, so
if you like historicals, it looks like it'll be a good one.
Oh, it's based on Gogo Ryo folktale.
Oh.
So that might actually be really cool, especially if you go into it kind of knowing the folktale.
I'm gonna watch it anyway, regardless. I'm just gonna assume bad things will happen.
A good rule of thumb with a historical and a Jisoo drama is go into it assuming death and despair, and then if you don't get that, you get pleasantly surprised.
Exactly.
You know? But if you go in hoping for the happy ending,
if you think you're promised a happy ending, don't do that.
Yeah, don't expect what you want out of a genre that doesn't do that. Just don't do that.
Just
like
no.
That'd be like me going to a romance and be like, God, I will be so happy if no one kisses in this. Like I could just not be in this genre.
So watching a murder mystery and being like, man, I hope nobody dies. And so if you're a K-pop fan, you already know this, but GOT7 is leaving JYP. It sort of started unfolding slowly, the story. It was like Yeogyum was reportedly that he was signing with AOMG. And people were like, JYP was like, no, we're still in discussions about contracts and negotiations and stuff. But in the past, when somebody has rumored an AOMG or a higher like link to one of these idols, Jay Park has been really fast to shut that down if it's not true. And he was silent. Like he did not say anything one way or the other. So I was like, okay, he is not coming out and shutting anything down. He's not going, oh, well, he's a great guy and we'd love to have him, but like we haven't, no, he just was silent. So I was like, okay, that one's true. And then like the next day, a fan on Twitter noticed that JYP had like unfollowed like all of the guys' Instagram accounts and tweeted about this and was like, JYP unfollowed all of their Instagram accounts, and Bam Bam responded to it with just like a shrugging gif, like a oh well kind of thing, and it was like, okay, it's going down. And then they all left. Apparently JYP wanted to keep some of them, but they had a very firm stance of all or nothing. You keep all of us or we all leave, and they were not willing to keep everybody, so everybody walked. So they apparently get to keep the GOT7 name and their work. So
that's good.
They can continue to be GOT7 if they so desire. So They all appear to be heading off in different directions. Jackson's got his Team Wang and his stuff going on, and
Jid Young's going off to do acting things. Mark's coming back to the States.
Yeah, which somebody speculated that their work visas in Korea may all be tied up with JYP.
Yeah, they would have to be.
They probably all have to go home. All the foreign members have to go home and then like reapply for if they want to come back to Korea to be working. So, but
that makes sense.
They seem happy.
Yeah, like it's sort of, it's sort of sad in a sense, but it's also happy. Like most of what I've been seeing from fans is that they're happy that their boys are staying together, even if they're separating. Like that they stood together and they stuck their guns, you know, and they just said, no, it's all of us or none of us. And if you just don't want one of us, then we all walk away. And I think that's awesome.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do something like pull a highlight and start their own company and come back. It's like in the future that seems feasible to me. Like
it doesn't seem feasible to me just because of where they're going. It's like if they were all going to acting companies, yeah, definitely, but they're not.
Well, and I mean Jackson's been so busy in China over the last year or two. Like he has to be kind of exhausted. Like the back and forth and all that kind of stuff. And he has
like multiple things, he's doing his like producing stuff, and then he's also still doing collabs with like, people from 88 Rising, and then he has his clothing line, and he has brand deals, and he's ambassadors for, some of the higher end stuff. And I think, also it's got to be hard to constantly be going back and forth between countries, especially during a pandemic where it's not really a feasible thing.
Seems like they're all happy and they're all doing what they want to do, which is all you can hope for, really.
I'm gonna hop over and talk about K-drama stuff for a second. So if you watch True Beauty, you already know, but I just think it's a fun little tidbit that in True Beauty, 4 cast members from Extraordinary You have already done cameos in the show, and on top of that, 2 of the characters of Extraordinary You came over to be in True Beauty for a cameo.
Yeah.
And so there was a crossover, and they did it in a way that was even, it's not that you just saw the characters, you saw the characters and there was a page turn like in Extraordinary You. So I mean, they brought that show into the True Beauty world just for a little bit, and that was really cool to see that. The other 2 cameos were also pretty fun, but they were different characters and stuff. So the second lead from Extraordinary You, he got a sizable cameo role. Like it wasn't just a few lines. Like he'll probably still be around for a little bit. So yeah, baseball player, you see him a fair bit. It's a silly show.
I really enjoy it. I think it's cute. Okay, I guess I'll go, since, me and the Thai news, we're always doing it. So there's a new show on the block, a new show that decided not to be about engineering students and medical students falling in love, but about gangsters. Ooh, gay gangsters. How fun will that be? It's called KinnPorsche. They just put out
Gangsters.
You lever. So they put out a trailer to sort of advertise that so trailers that they put out for Thai shows are not like trailers for regular shows, because usually when a trailer comes out, it means they've already begun to film the show. And the trailer is footage mostly from the show that you're going to watch. Not in Thailand. They film a trailer before they even start filming the show. You get it right when they've cast the show. They're just like, okay, we're all gonna go. We're gonna make like a little trailer, and then they mock us with it. Which is why there's all these shows that is like, wow, the trailer looks so good, and then you wait like 9 months for the show to come out. Only started filming it. Anyway, so this is the case with this, but it's got a pretty dynamite cast. So I'm tentatively excited for it. They could still fuck it
If
up.
they pour as much money into the show as they did the trailer,
it should be
gonna
pretty
be good.
It's got everyone. Well, not really. It's got Gameplay and Jeff in it from Ingredients, which is the show that Amanda and I love on YouTube. It's got the guy who plays the older brother in Tharn Type, so he's pretty fun. It's got this actor who has never really acted in these sorts of shows before. He's like mostly like an actual
a real actor.
So he's like an actor who actually acts in non-GMMTV style stuff. So that's, pretty exciting.
The gangster dad in it was the dad in Hook, which I just watched. He's got a bit of a like handsome gangster face to himself. So
like it looks. Anyway, the trailer looks really good. So, but it's coming soon. So that could be any time between 2 months from now and 2 years from now. So
good luck.
We'll see.
So there's a new movie coming out very soon, February 5th on Netflix. Big blockbuster that is Space Sweepers, which we had heard about fun. Last year towards the end of the year, they were talking about it as Song Joong Ki and Kim Tae-ri and just a bunch of other people. It's set in space in the future. Lots of things happen. I haven't really looked that much into it just because it's a movie and it might have some mystery to it because space stuff usually has the mystery to it, and I don't want to accidentally stumble upon something because they love to hype up movies and you're like, well, you just gave away the entire movie. Cool. But I'm really excited for it because it does look really good. It looks like there's been a lot of money backed up into it, and so it's going to look like a really good production, and it's got a really solid cast, so I think it's going to be a lot of fun too. I think it's going to be a fun space show. That's what it seems to be.
It looks really fun.
Yeah.
It looks really fun.
The trailers look pretty good too, so that is on the very near horizon, so look for it. And it is exclusive to Netflix, I think.
I think so. That's one of the big blessings of this pandemic stuff is that all these Korean movies that it would take us a year or something to ever show up aren't going to the theaters. They're just going straight to Netflix, and you're like, woo!
It's good for all of us.
Yeah.
But maybe if you guys want, we'll do an episode on it or something about it. Maybe. Possibly, I don't know. certifiednoonas@gmail.com. Talk to us, please. We always need episode ideas, and if you have something you want,
let us know.
We'll factor that in.
So my adorable children, my sweet babies, TXT, are they're going to be the new hosts of an EBS radio show called Listen. I guess it's a fairly popular radio show. It's a teen call-in show. So it's aimed at teenagers and they call in with their troubles or whatever. Chung-ha used to be the host of this show. I think what I read was that this is the first time it's multiple hosts, that a whole group, it's all of them. It's not just one of the members. All of them are going to be the hosts of this new radio show for people to call in. So I'm happy for them. They seem to be doing well and gaining some popularity of their own, not just being the other group from Big Hit. So
the little brothers.
Yeah, good for them.
Little brothers are growing up.
Yeah. Which you like to see it. It's good. I'm glad. I'm happy for them.
Dreamcatcher's Lightstick.
Remember when I said that I forget about my favorites? This is the moment.
Yeah, I wrote it in the doc as we've been doing this, and I kept on being like, Jesse, do you see it?
No, I didn't. I was and then I kept on going, maybe I should just try for drama things because everybody was talking about music. Oh God. Okay, Dreamcatcher. Go.
Well, you can talk about it. No. Okay,
I'll tag on.
Okay, Dreamcatcher recently had their 4th anniversary in quotes. So they released they're going to be releasing. They released the pictures of their light stick and robe, ceremonial robe is what I'm going to call it.
Yeah, no, it's totally ceremonial.
So the light stick, it's not your typical light stick.
No.
This sucker is like a pimp cane.
Yeah, it is a light staff.
3 feet long, staff. 4 feet, I don't know. Oh my god.
Yeah, it can be used as a weapon and a walking cane and all types of things.
Yeah, it's like multi-use. It's a multi-tool in the light stick world. I mean, like, it has like a part because it all like kind of like threads together essentially. So it's in 3 pieces. So you can have like the normal light stick, you know, size, and then just add the extensions to it. And oh my gosh, concerts are going to be fun with it.
Did you imagine? Do you think that in the US they're going to allow?
They might like not allow it.
Version.
They might just like be like, you can only bring in the handheld version.
Right. I immediately was like, I don't think we're gonna be allowed to take those.
No, listen. You know what though? Imagine it. Imagine I'm setting a scene for you. Where, you know, there's a concert. Pick any city in America, and the people who are around where this concert's happening don't know what's going on. They just know there's a concert tonight. They don't think of it. And all of a sudden, a horde of becloaked people carrying pimp staffs suddenly descend upon.
They are not going to be able to have concerts in like middle America because like they will be calling the cops on these like demon worshippers.
It's so beautiful because you know someone when they were planning, they were like, "This is what I envisioned, my friend." Yeah. So like, and I just, you know, I expected nothing less from Dreamcatcher, and I'm just like happy to be called an Insomnia. Like, I just love them and their craziness.
Saw somebody today on Twitter was talking about between Dreamcatcher and Luna, like all the gays are winning. Like it's just like
it's true.
The capes and the light sticks and the like. It's just there's something for every gay.
Also, like the anime kids were also winning in the K-pop
everybody is winning.
I definitely felt like Dreamcatcher's light stick though looked at the Luna light stick and was like, oh, hold my beer. Like, yeah. Because everyone was like, oh, this Luna light stick is so long. And it's like, oh, no.
Just wait.
Just like, I think it's just so funny. They looked at it and was like, that's too like pretty. We gotta be dark. Our concept is dark, guys. Let's go.
And then I saw someone mocked up a cartoon picture thing, and they had put the 2 Luna light sticks and 2 Dreamcatcher light sticks, and then someone had an ATEEZ light ring thing as if they were playing like kind of horseshoes or whatever with the other 2
Oh, so good.
Oh Lord.
And as we said, creative light sticks, because like
like
so good.
We like them.
Like there are so many groups where I just want the light stick. Like I don't dislike Dreamcatcher, but I'm not like, I don't super stand them, right? But I like want that light stick. You know, I want the Luna light stick. I want the ATEEZ light stick. Like I want these clever, unique, fun light sticks because they're just awesome.
It's like their art.
Yeah. And I mean, like I love Blackpink, but like their light stick, it's bonkers and I love it. Like it's just
I like when you can like tell the personality of the group through the light stick. Like it's fun when like you can see things and you're like, oh, that's inside jokes, but like when it's like an actual, like you're like, yes, that fits their personality perfectly, you got that. Like it doesn't even matter if it fits their concept, it's just like, that's them. Yeah, you got it, you nailed it.
So if you want to help us all purchase these light sticks, you can go to ko-fi.com/certifiednoonas and become an official sponsor of this podcast. I'm just kidding, of course. All the sponsors pay for basically our hosting and, you know, all that sort of things. And we love all of our certified found family over there.
And I want to just like jump in. I have been lacking on some of the extra videos. I know that I am aware of that. So look in the like coming weeks. I'm gonna like just spam a lot of videos. They're there. They're waiting. It's just, you know, pandemic has been a weird mental toll. But they're there, and there's gonna be some good content, and we also will always be producing more content there too in the future. So.
Yep.
But thanks for sticking with us. I really appreciate it.
We do. We appreciate all of you. You're seriously the MVPs of our podcasting life, as it were. Anyway, thank you for coming to check out us again for some sweet Asian entertainment news and shenanigans and chatting and reassurance that I'm not dying. I just sound like I am. It's all good. Anyway, you can find us wherever podcasts can be listened to, but you can also go to certifiednoonas.com, our official website. And you can find us on all socials. It's always and you can find us on all socials. It's always at Certified Noonas, but we're mostly on Twitter. That's kind of our thing. And we're also on Instagram a lot. So those are the two. If you want to get a hold of us, Twitter's the way to do it. Anyway, we hope that you have a fantastic week and, you know, stay safe, keep warm, or keep cool if you're down under and it's summer right now. And we just hope that you know, take a little time for you and have some fun this week. Anyway, we hope you have a fantastic night and keep listening to Asian entertainment. Bye.
Bye.